Good morning, Bulldogs. Hope you guys had a great spring break. This is Jake. He's a 1-year-old Cocker Spaniel. He's a new addition to the Gammon family. A little unexpected addition over break. He just came up, made the trip from Charleston, South Carolina with us. Really good boy. He slept on people's laps the whole way up. So very well behaved dog. Great addition to our family. You'll probably see him. I would bring him into school here and there so you guys can meet him. A little squirmy. We also have some baby goats on the way, so hopefully next couple of weeks, we'll have some baby goats on there too. But this is Jake, like I said, new addition, a really cool dog. So hope you had a great break. Let's get this rolling. Please stand for the morning ceremony. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. That picture, please be seated. That picture that you're seeing on there, that's from, we did spend one day, one night in New York City. That was outside of our hotel on the Jersey side, looking across the harbor. It was a 9/11 memorial overlooking Ground Zero. That was a really cool picture. So really great spot to hang out at. So a little bit about our break. And I hope, like I said, I hope you had a great break too. I hope you're ready to get back into gear this week. Birthdays over break, we had Aiden, Cameron, Anson, Madeline, two Matthews, Tanner, Jesse, Aiden, Joseph, Alexia, Nathan, Alex, Braden, and Marshall, who had birthdays over break. And then this week, Sunday, Easter Sunday, we had Owen, Silas, and Andrew. Yesterday, we had Grace and Neveline, and then we have Brandon today. We have Addie, Ashton, and Lars on Wednesday. Daniel on Thursday, and then Friday we have Aiden, Michaela, and Carter. So happy birthday, guys. And for those of you that had birthday over break, I hope you had a great birthday. Really cool to have an Easter birthday. I sometimes have mine on Thanksgiving, so it's always a bonus plus too. Positive referrals. Jesse Moser got a positive referral from Mr. Martin. Jesse's been doing a great job in our building, and he had a bad moment the other day, but we often have bad moments, and sometimes we get angry, and that's kind of what I'm talking about today from what I want to go over with you guys. But Jesse reacted in the right way, and he had a great, meaningful conversation with Mr. Martin about his language, how he reacted, and it really left an impression on Mr. Martin and on others around. So great job, Jesse. You know, it's not always, we sometimes, lose our composure. Sometimes we get angry. It's how we react from there and how we get ourselves under control that really matters. And that's going to play into my lesson today. Before we get to that, we're going to have Lunch and Learn next Tuesday. So sign up this week if you're interested in psychology, human services, or social work. We're going to have a professional from Hillside coming in. So please sign up in the counseling office if you'd like to be of any interest in that field after high school. Big change today. We're changing how we're doing lunches. If you may have noticed as you walk by the cafeteria, they look a little different. They look a lot like they used to look like before COVID pandemic hit. We are going to be having our 9th, 10th, or 9th and 10th grade, excuse me, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th back in the cafeteria. So you're still going to be in the same lunch. Basically, we're not using the large varsity gym, so that's not going to be used. So if you're in the first lunch, 10th graders, you've been in there all along. 9th grade, we're in the large gym. So now 10th grade, you're going to all slide into the large cafeteria. 9th grade, you're going to all be in the small cafeteria. Same thing for P-lunch. 8th grade's been in the cafeterias all along, but now you're going to all go into the large cafeteria. And in 7th grade, instead of being in the gym, you're going to be in the small cafeteria. We'll have more announcements during the day to remind you, but and then 6th grade, you're still in the modified smaller gym. And then 11th and 12th, for the remainder of this year, you're going to stay in the auditorium foyer. Any questions, stop by the main office. Like I said, as we've looked at what's happened in the last, in society, over the last couple of years, I want us to never lose sight of what makes Livonia special. What makes us special is really, it's all about family. It comes down to that. And you heard that from some of our student leaders, when they spoke over the announcements over the past couple of weeks. The word that always came up was family, our Bulldog family, because that's what we're all about. And sometimes it's disheartening to see those that are fueled by anger, whether it's, here in the community and across the country or in the world. But we have to, that just helps us to remind us that we're better than that. And Livonia is always going to be home of good people, people who laugh, enjoy one another, people who live open-handed, that are driven by compassion, that are others focused. That's why I chose to raise my family here for the last 25 years. And the dividing line you often see in this world isn't the dividing line between what we believe in, whether one group believes this, one group believes that. It's often the dividing line between people in this world right now that polarizes people is between those who are driven by compassion, no matter what they believe in, and those who are driven by anger, no matter what they believe in. But we have to continually fight to keep goodness inside of us because we're better than that. Because we're better than that, we must continue to fight to be defined by what we love, not by the list of what we hate. And because we're better than that here, we must strive to always have our default response in life, to be hope. So that's what I want to talk about today is 7 tips for turning your passion. When you find yourself getting angry, turn that passion right into hope. And number 1 is accept it and learn from it and push through it and move on. We need to recognize that anger is part of being human. We all get angry. I get angry sometimes too. But we can prepare ourselves better for when the times when we do get angry. We must always remember that, in life, it's always about 10% what you're given and 90% how you react to it. In other words, we may not be able to control what happens in life, but we can control how we react to it, how we respond to it. And sometimes it's okay to be angry. Remember that we can choose to stay angry, or we can transform that anger into productive energy. Rather than blaming others around you, use this emotion as a way to improve yourself, motivate you, and help to make positive change in the world around you. Second thing about way of turning your passion into hope is to pause before you react. Sometimes that's tough. So we have the pause before you post paw print that we talk about, just mainly for online, but it fits everywhere. When we're faced with anger, it's good to practice pausing and reflecting and thinking before you react. When you feel anger, it's an opportunity to ask yourselves first, what's the source of that anger? What can you identify? And if you can identify it, maybe you can do something to address it. And it's not going to happen in an instant. You can't always just flush it right away. Take a few deep breaths, walk around the block, even away from your devices, because that's huge. I think sometimes the biggest thing in our lives is the fact we're always connected. So sometimes step away from being connected gives you a chance to heal. It's your chance to get your emotions back under control. Go take a walk. We live in a beautiful town. Go to a park, hike in the woods, go walk around a lake. Do some things that really get your mind in a better place. Third thing you can do to turn your passion into hope is to flush it and don't use it to attack others. You need to overcome your own fear and frustration, but while doing so, you can't use it to cause others to be afraid or to intimidate others. In other words, channel that energy behind your anger and have it motivate you to act appropriately. Not in ways that'll hurt others, but in ways that lift others up, in ways that strengthens relationships, brings us together, builds bridges, brings us closer. It might feel good at times, sometimes to react in the heat of the moment, to focus on revenge or getting even, but that feeling never lasts. What does last is showing compassion, seeking positive solutions to your frustration. Fourth thing you can do to turn your passion into hope is remind yourself to be optimistic. Repeatedly, constantly remind yourself to be optimistic. It's so important to maintain high spirits no matter what you're facing. This constant state of optimism is a concept we often have to develop. You have to work on it. But for the most successful people in the world, it's kind of their secret weapon. And if you look at the most successful people in the world, most of them have it. What separates them from others and helps keep them on top. Maintaining a positive state of mind, even in the worst of circumstances, leads to a happier, more fulfilling life. Look at the people that are angry. Are they really enjoying their life? And studies have shown that positive people even live longer. So we need to maintain optimism not only for ourselves, but also for our collective future. We need to all have faith that despite the anger we see in the world, brighter days are ahead, and there are good people everywhere, and good will always win in the end. Fifth thing about turning your passion into hope is surround yourself with positive people. They always say that you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So think about that. Reflect right now. We're the 5 people that you spend the most time with. And usually you're the average of those people. So if you surround yourself with positive people, you'll benefit from that energy. That's why you should always avoid angry people. It can be so easy to get stuck in negativity, especially on social media. That's what the social media is all about. It's all designed to catch your attention. It gets things that it gets your emotions up. So then you'll keep going back. It'll keep you hooked, and you'll read the comments. Never read the comments. That's a big thing you can do. But don't get caught up in other people's negativity. Instead, seek people who are positive. People who are happy. People that make you happy. People that make you feel good about yourself when you're with them, either whether it's online or in person. Jake's like thrashing right now. It's his first time downstairs in the basement, so we have a little bit of good time here. Another way to turn your passion into hope is to be humble. Remember that no one is perfect, even including ourselves. I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. None of us are perfect. We get rid of that sense of superiority towards others, even when we're sure we're right and we're sure they're wrong. Be humble. Being humble will change the lens that you see the world. It'll change the lens that you see others, and it'll be better. Make it easier for you to accept everyone. You'll be able to accept their humanity, their flaws. You'll even be able to accept your own flaws. When you're humble, we can better learn from our own mistakes and fail forward and learn from them. Being humble often looks like the other tips I talked about. Being humble means when you get angry, don't react, pause, flush it, and react in a positive way. That's what humble looks like. So last thing about turning your passion into hope is use it to take positive action, to make positive change. In other words, be the change. Way to dispel anger and replenish hope, spread hope, is to serve your school, serve your community. Serving others with no expectation brings inner peace, makes you feel good. We've talked about that. Gives you gratitude, strengthens connections. Doesn't have to be a huge thing. You can start small. Even the smallest thing can make a big difference. Volunteer at a local community, library. So many of you have been cleaning up lately and streets along the high school in the area. Remember, you can always do something. Like I said, even the littlest thing will make a big difference. So Bulldogs, I'll leave you with this quote. When I was at Ground Zero that day over break, around St. Paul's Chapel, the church where they were right at Ground Zero that was saved miraculously during 9/11, they have the Bell of Hope. And when I saw that Bell of Hope, it just made me think of today's thoughts, today's lesson. Made me also think of this quote here from Jack Layton that says that love is always better than anger, hope is always better than fear, and optimism is always better than despair. So let's be loving, hopeful, and optimistic and change the world. Think strong, be strong, and stay strong, Bulldogs. Have a good day. Welcome back.